Hello everyone, my name is Meghan LeVota and I offer wisdom, tools, and support for personality integration. So if you're new to my channel, I am an ENFJ personality type, and a lot of what I talk about on my channel are about the 16 cognitive personality type patterns. So what I want to share with you guys today is about me as an ENFJ, my journey in discovering entrepreneurship, and maybe some tips for if you are an ENFJ and you are considering entrepreneurship. Here are just some things that you might want to consider if you are an ENFJ. So first of all, I just want to say that the concept of what it means to be an entrepreneur has kind of been changing rapidly, especially over the past decade, because the reality is now that we have access to the internet and it's so easy for people to be like discovered online, or you know, people can work for themselves and run their full businesses online in ways that they haven't been able to before, and also they're able to get off the ground and find their people way faster than ever before. So the idea that I had of entrepreneurship whenever I was growing up was a lot different than how it is now. But to be honest, I was always a good student. I was always good at school. I was a bit of a teacher's pet, more so in elementary school. Kind of grew out of that a little bit whenever I started to prioritize some of my extracurriculars more and my friends more. But I wanted to make the teacher happy. At my core, I didn't want to let anyone down. And that whole ability of not wanting to let anyone down is what pretty much has propelled me throughout all of my education. I ended up getting a degree in journalism, undergraduate degree. Now I'm working on a master's in organizational psychology. And the sense of guilt that I would get when I maybe let someone down, or the fear that I would have of feeling the guilt of letting someone down, is pretty much what propelled me. And I have been trying to unpack that and change that, because the reality is if I ever want to do anything for myself, then I need to be motivated by something that is not guilt. I need to be motivated by my own sense of self and my own passion and my own desire. And it's very difficult to manage my own desire. It's difficult to manage my time and my energy effectively while also being fueled by, you know, what I want to do. So if you are an ENFJ, you might have never even considered that entrepreneurship was something for you, because you probably want to please your parents who want to see you safe. And a life coach of mine told me this, and it completely changed my life, is just the idea that as much as you love your parents, you have to be critical when your parents are giving you advice, because your parents at their very core, you're their baby. They are gonna worry about you. They don't want you to be hurt. They don't want any harm to come your way. So be very critical when they give you advice, and ask yourself, is that advice coming from a place of fear, or is that advice coming from a place of them empowering me to take risks and grow? So that's why it's important sometimes to talk to a therapist or a life coach or just someone to talk about these things, which I do offer sessions that you could reach out to me below. But my point here is that it's important to talk to someone who is encouraging your growth and not trying to keep you safe. Because if you are an ENFJ and you have some sort of radical vision that you want to get out there, which you're perfectly capable of doing, because you do see the path, you are extremely creative, you know how to work with people and have the work ethic in order to really serve people. But there's so many emotions that are going to be holding you back from even believing that you are good enough. And one of those, it starts with your perception of what you should do in your life. And for ENFJs, FE is our dominant function, which means that we are so in tune with this extroverted world of the societal expectations, the pressure that is being put on you, the expectations, and we have to kind of break through that and allow our auxiliary NI to come through. And I recently did a video about how to develop NI in the ENFJ, and if you're curious, I'm doing a workshop this weekend, Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Time, that's all about using your auxiliary function for to tap into your creative potential. So if you are interested in learning more about leveraging your auxiliary function, that is also linked below. But my point here is that for ENFJs, it's like we feel all of these emotions, and then our NI within, the truth is that we don't really belong on this earth. We do, but we are here to create something new. We are here to pierce through all of the noise and allow our vision to be seen and to leave a mark in the SE world. And we have to figure out a way to deal with our own dominant extroverted feeling and arrange our life so that we are not living, we are not motivated by guilt constantly, and we can listen to our own inner wisdom and where we're headed. We can look into the deeper introverted intuition perception and use it to see a better path, a better way out. But we can't see that path if we are stuck under the thumb of what our parents want from us, under the thumb of wishing that we are worthy enough to fall in love one day, and wanting to make sure that we are projecting this sort of image of what we think someone that is worth finding a romantic partner would be like. You know, dressing in the way that you think that they would like, not showing any of your weirdness. A lot of people think that ENFJs are perhaps more normal than the other NFs, and that's not really true at all. Like, every ENFJ I've ever known has had this this sense to our core in our introverted intuition that we just are not like most people. And that's true according to the research that the MBTI has done. ENFJs are a very rare personality type, and there aren't that many NJs compared to other types. And you know, you can take that science, you can take that study with a grain of salt if you'd like, but whether or not that's the case, it's still a lot harder to see introverted intuition being seen in society, because it's the most introverted of all of the introverted functions, because it is not only your inner world, it's also the intangible inner world. So it's so hard to grab onto, and anyone who prioritizes introverted intuition is going to feel that sense of like, my world is something that I feel like nobody can see. And I've spent so much of my life feeling unseen. And the extroverted feeling can sometimes feel like you're having to tread all of this water of what everybody else, you know, wants from you. And you have to navigate those waters in order to create, you know, a peaceful, smooth sailing. Because we are such emotional creatures. We don't do well with choppy waters. So many water metaphors. We don't do well. Like, I'm so emotional that like even just being hungry can make me not be able to work. Okay, I know that's such a silly thing to say, but it's like, obviously when you're not hungry, or obviously when you're hungry, it's going to be harder to be productive. But I feel like, so if anything is not right within, it's so hard to focus. Like I have to prioritize my emotions logically. It makes sense based on how I'm created and how I am, that I need to prioritize my emotions, or else they are going to just come up and distract me from my productivity. So for ENFJs, if you are wanting to get into entrepreneurship, really the first step is allowing yourself to releasing yourself from being under the thumb of everybody else's expectations of you, giving yourself time of silence and stillness, and schedule it in your day, and pretend that you are making a date with yourself, your future self even. And you really have to treat yourself like a friend, because I know exactly how it is that I will never cancel on a friend or a family or boss, but the moment I want to start a new habit, I can cancel on me, because I know that I won't ever abandon myself. But then again, I'm still abandoning my own commitments to myself if I don't take that seriously. So you really have to treat yourself like a friend and make time for not just self-care of like watching TV or reading or anything like that, or even just time to do nothing while listening to music and journaling. I'm also saying that we need time in stillness, which I'm screaming this right now because I have a hard time taking this advice still. But only in the stillness is NI able to see. And we seriously need that, because when we are in that stillness, that is when we can see where our urge is and where it is that where our soul is craving to go. And I believe that anybody could be an entrepreneur if they wanted, but I especially believe that ENFJs are here to be leaders, to show a new way. Because the thing is that if we give ourselves the time to listen to our introverted intuition, we will see this path. And the great thing about us is that we have tertiary extroverted sensing that has a lot of energy that needs to be put to work. And if you can see that NI, then you can use your SE energy that is just like this excited 10-year-old that wants to do things, and you can tell it to do things. And it is a way for you to make the world a better place and to, you know, make new connections with people, which is what we ultimately want. And INFJs could be really great entrepreneurs as well, and I'd be happy to make that video another time. But the thing is that ENFJs, all it takes is us giving ourselves that time to tap into our introverted intuition, and then we see it. And then when we see it, our FE is more than happy to go to the ends of the earth to make it happen. Because if we can see that it is helpful to people, then why wouldn't we do it? Why wouldn't we put our all into it? Whereas for INFJs, they have a real struggle of their inferior extroverted sensing. They have to get past that. They have to figure out how to get into the momentum and actually turn their NI into reality, because for INFJs, NI is their baby. NI is everything to them. They don't want to mess it up. But for ENFJs, we exist to make people happy. Like, that's just, like, that's been an insecurity of mine too. It's like, if I am not able to be of service to people, then what the hell am I doing? And the thing is that we need to view NI as this key for being able to do that. And if we are working in a job that we hate, chances are it's because we don't see a better road. Now, I'm not saying that every ENFJ has to be an entrepreneur. If you love your job and you feel cared for by your boss, then that's amazing. But I do think that ENFJs, we are here to show people a better way and be an example and show through our leadership. We have enough SE to fully embody it, We have the NI to know where we're going. And we have the FE to be of service. And I believe that every great entrepreneur, in order to actually make something, they need two things. One, they need to be of service, and they need to know who they're speaking to. That's something that we're absolutely excellent in. And we need to be able to see a new path and not just repeat and recycle what's been done before. I believe that a lot of entrepreneurs nowadays, they are probably TJs, or a lot of them are NTJs, which means that they have that NI vision just like us. But with their extroverted thinking, they're able to figure out ways to make it work. Now, here's the challenge. NTJs, you guys could be excellent entrepreneurs, but right now we are living in a world where things are getting more and more automated. We have algorithms that will do tasks for you, and people are outsourcing these tasks. And the one thing that you cannot outsource, that you'll never be able to outsource, is human connection and understanding human emotions. No robot can ever do that, and that is our strength. That is what makes us different. No one will ever be able to replace an ENFJ that is in leadership. And I'm not saying that other types are replaceable. I just really want ENFJs to realize that you are not replaceable. Because the reality is, a lot of ENFJs feel irreplaceable because when we go into jobs, it is so difficult for us to pretty much have to stretch ourselves and use sensing and thinking all day long just in order to get the task done. And it's like nobody wants to hear our creative ideas. Nobody wants to know like how to potentially move the company in a different direction, because it's hard for us to make a case for it. We don't want to argue you and tell you what everything you should do to make your company better. We have an idea and we don't want to use the TE to explain it, and that's a huge problem for us. So I would definitely suggest, if you don't want to start your own thing, that it's still a good idea to give more proposals to your boss, because you do have good ideas, you just need to spell them out more. And the thing that I like about entrepreneurship and doing my own thing is that I don't have to convince anyone of anything. I just have to get myself on board, and I can fully trust myself in what I'm doing, and I can experiment with it, and I can commit to it. And it took me a while to get there. It took me a while to believe and fully commit to myself and what I'm doing. And it honestly takes practice. It takes getting the FE gratification of realizing that people enjoy it. And it's a slow process. So, and I'm still working on it. But really, like, the first step for ENFJs is really sorting through those emotions, realizing, and maybe journal about this, realize whose expectations are holding me back. Because the thing is that there's many times where we don't even realize that we are held back by something, because we won't even think about the person. We won't even think about, oh, what do our parents think? We don't think about that. Really? At least I know, no, I didn't really. And so that's why I guess I'm suggesting to you to think about that, because there might be some things that your shadow FI is afraid of that you don't even know that you're afraid of. Because you might have the belief of, oh yeah, well, I know I can do whatever I want. But yeah, until you really reckon with those fears and really understand them and see them, they might still be there in the background. And another thing I want you to do if you're an ENFJ is go find people who do have your dream job. Find people that you feel like you could see yourself in. Now, I don't care if they work fully for themselves, if they work for a company or whatever they do for work. Just seeing those examples, and then having someone that as a role model, someone that you can see yourself in, even if it's kind of a tangential career, is so important. Because if I am not able to see myself in something and anywhere, then I just can feel like I don't belong, and it makes me want to blend in even more. So no, you are not here to blend in. So you don't have to blend in. So that's my validation for you. If you have any questions about ENFJ entrepreneurship or anything like that, or any other thing about ENFJs, please let me know. And I also, if you've made it this far, I have to tell you that me and my ENFJ best friend are actually starting a course called Brand Magic that I will link below. It starts May 18th. You can sign up anytime afterward, and it will teach you everything that you need to know to turn your radical vision into a reality. And we cover the spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical barriers to getting your idea down to earth. And we've done it ourselves, both individually, and I'm so excited to share with you all in a course form so that you could do it too, because I believe in you. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.